Alrighty, welcome to another episode of Tyler's Yarns. Today I got my good friend with me, Hans. We're going to be changing it up this week. We normally have a lot of fashion guests on. This week we got one of my good friends. Has a roofing company. Do you want to introduce yourself? Maybe tell us a bit about your story and how you got into roofing, and everything.
Cool. Thanks for having me on, Tyler. Yeah, my name's Hans from New Zealand. Been in Melbourne for about 10 years now. I basically started roofing in 2015, but how I got into it, I didn't really have any direction of where I was going. I was doing car sales, door knocking, literally the whole works, man. I started off doing heaps of weird odd jobs when I first moved here. So just didn't have any direction after I came back from Europe in 2015. Kevin was like, why don't you just give this a go, roofing. So I started off labouring in 2015 for a roofing company.
Who's Kevin?
So Kevin he's my business partner now, but back then he was a good friend of mine. He's a bit of like a mentor. But yeah, we used to hang out a fair bit and just came up in conversation. So I was a removalist at the time and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So just gave it a go and started my apprenticeship in 2017 after I had been roof labouring for about 2 years. And then I got qualified in 2019, I think it was. And then we basically Kevin and I basically started up HK Roofing at the end of 2019, just doing weekend work and stuff. So then eventually we moved on to HK full-time last year. Kevin moved back to New Zealand at the middle of 2021, so yeah, and then we've been booming since. I've got a few employees now, and my sister's just joined up doing some admin for us, so we're a team of 5 now. Haven't looked back since. Yeah,
because probably you've been going hard over the last 1 or 2 years, you reckon? But
yeah.
I've just seen like a massive growth. I've obviously been probably one of your biggest fans over the last 2 years.
Yeah, been mad support.
But yeah, just maybe tell me everything like going in that last 2 years, pretty much from the start. You said you were doing weekend work and then like you started moving into, now you're doing it full time with 5 staff. So maybe get into that.
Yeah. So we started doing the weekend work just because we wanted a bit more cash, as everyone always does. And then eventually I just decided I wanted to give it a go myself and do my own thing. So Kevin and I were at a sticking point. It was either he was going to stay here and do the business, or he was going to move back to New Zealand, and he moved back to NZ, and I decided I'd just do it on my own over here. He's actually got a business in Masterton in New Zealand, which is our hometown. So he's doing that over there, and I'm doing HK in Australia. And yeah, we basically do a lot of project work. So we do metal roofing, metal cladding, and skylights as well.
Good. But so you just said Kev has his own business there, but is it through HK Roofing?
Yeah, so we're basically 2 separate businesses, but we've got an HK in New Zealand and an HK in Australia. So
how does that work?
We basically just run the same socials. Like it's nothing like we're not like a franchise business or anything like that. We just have the same logo, same socials and stuff. So he does the the New Zealand side of HK, and I do the Australian side. But he doesn't have any employees back over there. He may even be moving back. So,
do you reckon he's going to move back to Australia? Do you reckon that'd be good?
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Would that be a lot better for you reckon?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm still young. Like I'm 28 years old now, and I'm basically at the point where I'm moving more off the tools than on the tools. But I still want to be on the tools doing, because I'm still learning. I still want to be on the tools, working and running job sites, and I haven't even really had an apprentice under me yet, so it'd be cool to, train up an apprentice through HK as well.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
What's the process to get to that level of like hiring new apprentices and stuff? Because what sort of people are you hiring at the moment?
Well, I basically just hire people off, and I got one of my guys off Instagram, but our first employee, Jack, he started off when I first went out as a company last year in July 2021. I actually played rugby with him in New Zealand, and we went to high school together down in Wanaka at Mount Aspiring. And he moved over here, and I didn't even know he was moving over here. A friend of mine told me, and so I just met him at the pub, and I was like, "Hey, bro, do you want to come work for me?" And he's like, "Yeah, sweet." So he just started off as a subby, and he's still working with us today. So he's basically doing a lot of our carpentry work, and he loves the metal cladding side of things. So he's kind of running that kind of area for me now, which is awesome. So,
but you're saying also with like Kev potentially coming back.
Yeah.
Would you be taking care of a lot of the business stuff, say, or like how do you reckon that would sort of work?
Yeah. So basically, I still love doing the sales and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I'd still be on the tools, probably more so. Maybe do one day a week. I'll be doing sales and stuff because I know I love selling to people. It's fun. Yeah. I love talking to people as much as like traders. Like you're focusing on your craft, but I love the involvement with people as well. So yeah, if he moves back, he'll probably, I guess, be doing more of the management side of things with jobs and stuff. Like he won't be on the tools at all. I don't think, because he's keen to get off the tools. So
yeah, I think once you get to an age, you start really wanting to get off the tools.
Yeah.
I think once you pass, how old is Kev?
Like 30. Oh, he's 38. He's 10 years older than me. So, I mean, I know people who are in their like 50s and they're still working, bro. Yeah, smashing ciggies on site.
Smashing ciggies and with the rock hard hands of doom.
Couldn't do that, eh?
Yeah, but I reckon you're on a good like wave because you're only on the tools like 2 days a week at the moment now.
3 days now, but realistically, I'm not on the tools. Like it's very rare that I'll get a full day on the tools actually like uninterrupted. Like your phone goes off like hotcakes, eh? Every 5 minutes my phone's going off. So that's why it's good having Maddie on board now, because she can start alleviating a lot of that stress from phone calls, especially when you're working on the tools, because you don't get as much work done. Yeah,
especially while your phone's like the biggest distractor
of
your life as well, especially because you get a call, then next minute you're like on Instagram or something and you're like replying to DMs or something like
Literally,
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like, well, I guess what you've been doing heaps as well. Yeah,
I get sucked in.
You get sucked in so bad, eh? Sometimes I just put my phone in my car when I'm working.
Yeah.
And that's
and then they get stolen.
And then it gets stolen, yeah.
No, that was a bit unlucky for it.
So bad, yeah. Literally within the space of 3 months I've had my wallet stolen.
2 times.
Oh, so bad. I was lucky the first time around though, because my wallet was obviously stolen from my van when I was going to a client's house, and we'd just finished this job in Fitzroy, and it was like 2 or 3 minutes that my wallet was stolen. But I got a call 2 days later. I got a call from some dude at midnight on Messenger saying, he sent me a photo and it was like my Bunnings Power Pass, and I was like, oh man.
Did you ever get a whole bunch of like cards just randomly put everywhere?
Literally,
just, like throwing them in random places.
Within like a K radius from the job site. I had some lady called me about 4 days later, and she had picked up my plumbing license, which was just like in some alleyway somewhere, and then someone had picked up my driver's license. So I was lucky on that, and then no money got taken or anything. But it's just a hassle, like trying to sort your cards and stuff out.
What are some like bigger like issues you've sort of faced with like? Because you're only like infancy stages of your business, and you're going rapidly quick as well.
Yeah, got mad growing pains, but
you've had 5 staff in 2 years, like that's pushing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's
been like rapid increase, like within like. I think you talk about it with me. You're like moving into a warehouse potentially soon.
Yeah,
like you got a whole bunch of things. Maybe talk about that.
Well, we've got some pretty big plans in place. Well, because obviously I'm still learning how to manage staff. Like I've never really managed anyone before, so just learning that. But we're doing like staff meetings and stuff every week, which is kind of helping out.
Are you learning about personalities and stuff?
Learning about personalities, yeah, that's half the struggle. Next year we want to hopefully move into a factory, because at the moment we're just running all my material out of my house. So,
it's not really sustainable, is it?
Nah, not at all, man. You definitely need a factory. You need a base for people to get themselves around. Yeah,
pretty much a base to get yourself. What area would you be looking?
I don't know. Anywhere Bayside, eh? It just depends where I can get rent. I don't know. I don't know what it was like for you, but I won't have huge budgets to blow in a month. Eh? Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like Oakley or something.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that's within 20, 25 minutes of home. Yeah.
So what are some like other, talk about some other problems that you've had maybe in the last 2 years?
Like it's just...
Because you've been growing so fast, which is a good thing, like, you know what I mean?
It's just stress, man. Like it's just so much like running a business. But also not having enough time for yourself as well. You get so caught up in like wanting to improve the business, but it's real easy to like work on yourself, I think, as well. So I mean, I've been kind of lucky in the fact because like I'm pretty good with routine and stuff, so my routine kind of keeps me in check. But you got to have your vices to kind of like let go. So like for me, it's running.
Yeah.
So I go for a run like 4:45 in the mornings. I'm going for a run and more meditating or whatever, and I kind of that's my time where I can just like kind of zone out and de-stress from the business.
Yeah, because I was definitely going through a lot of stuff as well because I wasn't taking on all the vices as well. Like I'm also like running, but I like going surfing and stuff. And then I think, by the few months of you not doing it, I think you end up starting to fall apart in business as well.
Yeah, I mean, your business falls.
Or like you just fall as well. You're just like collapse, like crumbling under the pressure because you're not actually doing stuff you like outside of your business as well.
Yeah, if your business if you start failing, then your business starts failing as well. So you got to look after yourself. It's really important.
But that's probably like one thing I've sort of taken away from business as well is trying to make sure you got all your stuff in check and your routines in check as well.
Yeah, routine's a big one.
But you can't just be like fully absorbed by your business as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because it can consume you. You're always just like thinking of the next best thing to improve your business too. So, but you just got to take it like one step at a time. Like, because I don't know what your mind's like, but mine's like thinking about 50 different things at once, especially when it's all business related. And I can never just do like one task. It's always like 5 at a time, and then I always get so distracted. So
how's a to-do list?
Oh, bro, I love to-do lists.
But I've just got a massive to-do list, and I think because also Maddie's working for us now. I was talking to Hans the other day. I was like saying, I'm literally got stuff on my to-do list from like 2 years ago that have just been on the back burners that like I'm just going to start getting Maddie to do because she's going to start working for us as well. So
she'll be well trained because she does all our to-do lists as well, like all the stuff that I just either hate doing or just don't have enough time to get around to. We use this task management app called Asana. I don't know, have you heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's like similar to Monday. I think Monday's big in the States, but we use Asana to track all our tasks and stuff. I've got all the employees and whatnot starting to use it too, so it kind of keeps me in check with the business, and it kind of like you can prioritize like tasks to do in the morning, afternoon, night. You can get stuff to do for next week, this week, and you can kind of put like little time allocations on it. But you got to like hold yourself accountable to it. You got to like look at it in the morning, look at it at night, and like constantly update it. But it does, like, especially having a business, you got so many different tasks, and then you've also got to delegate those tasks to certain people as well. So it's kind of good. I can delegate them all, most of them to Maddie.
Well, because other people are better at other things, and like you might be, or like people might be better at something than something else. So it's like, we need to put someone where they're good at in the business. It's like, for me, for an example, Brooke's good at filming and she's good at editing and she edits all this podcast, and like we could just put like Ashley in there to be like, you're going to edit it now. You got to put the people in the right position to be like,
that's right. And you got to kind of get them to be on board with what they want to do as well, but how it's going to best align with your company.
But like being in a small business, do you find it hard with like delegating tasks, like as we were saying before? Because it was because a lot of people have to wear a lot of hats when you're in a small business, like you are.
Because you can't just do. You got to kind of have like one person to do 5 people's roles.
That's exactly
compared to like a big company where you got just one person doing accounts or one person booking jobs, or like ordering material or whatever it is. You kind of have one person to do all of that in a small company, but I guess if you've got like the right systems and stuff in place, it's a bit easier to follow. Like we've got a few good systems that we use. Like we've got job management software called Simpro, which we use for our job stuff. We can quote and do invoices and all that. So that's really easy for myself to use, and Maddie's been trained up to use it too. So
how's putting all those systems in place? Like you obviously have been doing it for 2 years now, and it's like you start learning quickly what you need to start doing better as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Like what sort of stuff have you learned through the 2 years?
Well, I basically I started off not knowing how to do anything really. I knew how to use like Xero and stuff for invoicing, but I had no didn't know how to do any job management. Didn't have any systems in place to kind of like have no structure, I should say. So I actually started up with this academy called this Tradies Academy.
Yeah.
Called the Tradies Success Academy, they were called. And I started up with them in October last year. Before I started with them, I kind of like had no direction with like if I was making money on jobs or anything like that. So basically started with them, and they kind of gave us all the tools and resources to build our business. And also like tradies or people going into business, like you don't have a business degree. I don't have a business degree. We've never run businesses, so it's all new for us. So, and they're all people that have had like businesses for 10, 15, 20 years, and they've got like multiple businesses. So they kind of gave us all the right tools and resources that we needed to kind of get to where we are. And we're still learning things. Like you can't just like build a great business in a day or 2 days, but you can slowly implement things over time. And
well, people think like things are built overnight. Like our business, people are, oh yeah, it's built overnight, but it's been like 6 years of like full hustling for 6 years, and people don't realize how much like time it takes for like even these big businesses that have been like, oh yeah, they're overnight success, and they've been going for like 15 years hard out, and
it's so much stuff in the background that people don't understand.
Yeah,
but
people are, oh yeah, they just did well because of that, and it's like no, they've been going for 15 years, and you're only seeing the like good of it now.
Only seeing the best part of it now. Yeah.
Like that's what I think. Yeah, you got to be like building a business that's going to be sustainable for your future. I reckon as well. Like so it's here in 10 or 15 years time. So I think they reckon it's like 1% of businesses last over 10 years.
Well, they only reckon there's only like 30% that make it for the first 2 to 5 years. I think it's like
the statistic is like there's not that many 10-year-old businesses around.
No, it's
that's
crazy.
1%.
Yeah, you gotta. I think the important thing with that too is like you gotta have like some goals, like set out for 10 to 15 years. Otherwise, like how are you gonna achieve them? Like how's your business gonna run in the direction that you want it to head towards those goals? I think it's really important. And we did like a goal setting session at part of our academy. I think it was the start of this year. I was doing like an 8-week intensive course through the academy that I was a part of, and they ran through, what SMART goals are? Yeah, they ran through, most people know what they are, but we ran through and did like the SMART goals, and it was really good because I could lay out like the short-term goals, like within a year, 2 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, or 15 years, and it was all like either personal or business related. So
what does your business goals look like for the 15 year, like 5, 10, 15 year range?
Yeah, well, this year I wanted to do a million revenue. Yeah. Which I think is possible. I think I got to average like 80K revenue a month or something. Yeah, which is pretty good for the team that we've got.
Especially like so new as well.
So
people don't realize how hard it. Like I think that's another statistic that any like 6-figure business, 7-figure business is like 10% or something like that as well.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's a real small percentage, but it's because people don't have the tools and resources to kind of keep running a business as well. They don't know what they need to keep going, and it's quite hard. But
so this year your million revenue is your hoping?
Million revenue this year, hopefully, and then I think next year we're looking at getting some what do you call it? Some properties, commercial property, just like rent out, get like a base to base out of, have an office there, and source some material and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Rather than being at your house, you reckon?
Rather than being at my house, bro. I've got like 6 meter battens like poking out the edge of my garage at the moment. I've got to drive over them every day. So yeah, it's definitely running out of room.
That's what makes it look so good, though. Like that's just the start of every business. It's sort of just like, so you know what I mean?
Well, you started in your room, eh?
Bro, remember? So Hans been doing photos for me since like day one.
Day dot.
And he was doing it in my living room.
That's right.
At the point, yeah.
Those early days when we were getting clothes out of the boxes,
chucking them straight
on. That's crazy. That was what, like 4 or 5 years ago?
5 years ago. We're coming out to our 6th year now, bro.
It's crazy. I remember your first birthday party down Chapel Street. It was mad.
Yeah, one of those. And now it's...
Where's the next one?
Now I'm getting my 6th birthday coming up.
Where we're having the 6th birthday, bro.
At the warehouse, man.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so what is your 5 and 10 year goals looking like then? So your next year you're gonna move. You reckon you're gonna hopefully get a commercial place?
Commercial place,
just for storage and shit.
Yeah, storage and stuff. 1 year to 2 years. 5 years, I'd like to have 2 or 3 teams running.
Yeah.
Kind of one focusing on each space. Like I'd love to have a team just doing the metal roofing or like the project kind of space where we're just dealing with like builders and I guess the bigger scale projects, and then obviously that'll fall under like metal cladding and stuff too. And then I want to have like just a sole skylight team, just like a team who comes in, does the skylights, frame them out, plaster them and all sorts. And then I'll love to have a team that just does re-roofs, like roof replacements.
So mainly what do you do? So you do skylights, re-roofs?
Yeah, so we do metal roofing, metal cladding and skylights. So I'd say skylights maybe 25% of the business, and then another 25% would be metal cladding, and then 50% metal roofing. But we do like a whole lot of other little services and stuff too. Like we do
roof servicing, like little sort of gutters and stuff.
Like smaller maintenance stuff. Like lately we've been pretty slow in the project space, so we've just been doing a lot of smaller maintenance jobs. Like we do a lot of gutter guard too, which is just like the stuff that you can put over your gutters to stop the leaves and stuff building in them. We've been doing heaps of that lately, which has been cool.
With the metal cladding stuff, it's obviously for like, I guess, is it mostly like nicer places, or like, because all the photos that I see, say on your Instagram, they're a lot like, I don't know, like two-rack houses, or, you know, nicer area places. I
think it started out as like a lot of the high-end kind of clients and stuff, but now it's becoming like a real favourite option. I guess it's
more affordable. Like now?
More affordable, but also people are seeing the value in it too, because like you don't have to maintain it after like 10, 15 years. Like you can literally just put the cladding on, and like it could last up to 30, 40 years in some cases, like with the warranties and stuff that they have. But it's huge now, I think, because it started all from the block. So it's massive. It's like
the block,
it's all over the block. Yeah, like the block, the TV show. Yeah. So it's
so over the last few years, it would have been, well, the block's been going for like 7 years or 8 years or something, surely.
Yeah, well, I've actually never even watched it that much, but everyone's just like,
I've got to get the metal cladding on my house. As soon as the block comes on, all through winter.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, sales go up.
That's it, bro. Sales fly through the winter.
Yeah.
That'd be the dream, eh?
How was like getting through COVID and all that as well? Because obviously like our business was fine, but maybe moving into like, because you're a completely different sort of demographic.
Different industry, yeah. I think for the trades and construction, because I started during COVID, I didn't really know like how good it was before COVID, I guess.
Because
me personally, like our business was fine. We had heaps of work during COVID.
Yeah.
For one, a lot of people were at home too, so like we couldn't do the a lot of people had a time to address all the stuff they wanted to fix around home. So a lot of people were doing a lot of replacements and getting a whole lot of work done to their house.
Because I guess everyone was getting their money and was just like, oh yeah, let's like fix a house, you know, because we're not going out
literally
for like dinner and stuff like that.
People had money to burn, eh? They weren't blowing it in the weekends or spending it on silly things.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like even you couldn't even go to the shops anyways, you know what I mean? No. So I was just like, oh, let's just like do all the stuff in their house.
A lot of people were renovating, and that was good.
Was it a lot more smaller jobs or like?
Nah, it was a mixture. It was like small jobs, big jobs. I don't really notice too much of a difference, to be honest. Like it's hasn't slowed up or anything since COVID, or haven't sped up either.
So it's just been steady. It's probably steady. Better that it's steady than
I think
like
the trade
way more hectic than you like, because it'd be a lot to like chew.
I think the trades had it better in Victoria because like we only had like 5 days of lockdown in total for the tradies. Like we pretty much just worked the whole way through, so we were real lucky in that regard.
So then moving through COVID, and now you guys are sort of doing fine.
We're all good now. Starting to get a bit more work. We're in a bit of a slow period at the moment. I think a lot of people kind of just around the tax year time, they don't want to spend too much money.
Yeah, it's a bit funny, eh?
Did that happen to you?
No, like because everyone gets a tax return and they spends all their money because they're a bit younger, you know.
Oh, yeah, true. Because I suppose your target audience is like around
when they get their like $1,000, it's like beauty. It's like
15.
Go spend it on clothes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That's why it's completely different, and that's why it's a bit like how are you going? But so you're pretty much like. Yeah, so that's in 10 years and 15 years from now, what do you reckon?
15 years, it's one I kind of haven't really sat down and had a look at yet. But 10 years, I'd love to be like close to 10 mil revenue. Yeah. But I also want to...
We sat down and talked about that one day as well. We're like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool. It's pretty... It almost seems ridiculous writing it down on paper, but, 10 years in business is like...
So long.
Such a long time, Like, so you think of some of those business, like startup businesses that go from 0 to 10 real quick, and they... go 100 mil revenue, or like our friend Ringo's business has gone from 3 employees to 200, and they like on target for a huge, like, 20, 30 mil a year or something.
Well, that was only in the last 5 years or something. It was 6 years, wasn't it? Well, how long ago?
I don't know.
6 or 7 years maybe since it started up.
5 or 6 years. I can't remember. Yeah, but even so, that's like crazy numbers. So, yeah, but I guess construction's slightly different. Like, I'd have to have a pretty big team by then in 10 years. But yeah, so basically just wanted to be about 10 mil revenue. Want to have a house in Wanaka.
Yeah. So go back to New Zealand, you reckon?
Back to NZ, yeah.
Do you reckon you'll live in New Zealand in 10 years?
I don't know. We'll see how we go. Just see how
like this business could be like, oh yeah.
I don't know,
we might be self-sufficient maybe.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we might even have a business in New Zealand. Like, obviously we've got one there now, but it might be a franchise by then.
Yeah.
Could have a crew in New Zealand, a crew in Australia.
Maybe moving on to that, do you reckon you'll go into state?
I don't know, because the thing about interstate is the licenses and stuff are kind of like they're just separate in each state. So
is it all different, like regulations, I'm guessing, and
slightly different because like for instance, Queensland has like a higher rainfall than Melbourne or Victoria, and vice versa with New South Wales and Tassie and stuff. So I think like their regulations are like slightly different, but it wouldn't be too hard to get around. I just need to have a license in each place, or have someone who has a license in that place, and you could start something up. But I haven't really thought too much about having a place, having another company in those kind of areas. But it'd be cool to, I don't know, have one in Sydney or Perth or something. Yeah, it'd be completely different. The work's slightly different in each place too. So
yeah, well, like Melbourne, like how do you reckon it's different actually? I have no clue. I was just about to be like, oh yeah. Because they're in that and that, this and this, but I would have no fucking idea.
It's just like different material and stuff you use, and people do things differently. Like, I don't know, it might just be like super specific to only roofers noticing the difference. Like I guess an everyday person probably wouldn't know the difference, but there's slight changes and stuff.
Do you reckon it's like different because Sydney's like way more hillier and stuff? Would be like a lot harder to.
I don't know. No, I don't think it has too much to play with today. Like, it's still the same kind of material. It just looks slightly different. People have different styles and stuff in those places. Different colours and stuff too. Like Queensland have like way warmer colours and stuff on all their roofs. Whereas down here, the most popular colour is like Monument, just like a kind of darky grey.
Yeah, that's like the class. Everyone's like basic.
Everyone's like, what colour you on your roof? And then you're just like, you want Monument, don't you? And you're like, yeah, Monument.
What would you? All right, this is probably one of my last questions.
Yeah.
If you could go back in time before you started the business, well, what tips would you give yourself?
What tips would I give myself? That's a good question. Just always be patient with yourself. Like, try not to get too like overwhelmed. It's okay to be wrong, but as long as you learn from your mistakes, just got to keep on trying till something works. I don't know. That's probably my main thing. Like, yeah,
it's probably the best answer I've got. That was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just not because we're so young in business. Like, even you're still young in business. But yeah, just don't be too bummed if something doesn't work out. Like, always just be willing to give something a go, and you got to be comfortable feeling uncomfortable. I think as well was the biggest one for me. Like, even just like talking to people, talking to other business owners and stuff. Like, it's pretty daunting at first, but I think it's really good to improve your people skills and stuff.
Especially,
as a business owner.
People like business owners to business owners, they want to talk about the business. They want to help you. People that have been in business for 10 years actually want to help you as well, which is like such a nice thing because you've all got like the same open mind as well. Like, you want everyone to succeed. Yeah,
100%. I mean, you want what's best for their business as well. And we're all kind of in it together, man. Like, everyone goes through the same motions with business too, You're not the only one stressing out at 10:30 at night being like, oh, man,
I need to make some sales.
Need to make some sales, bro. Yeah.
But then you get, like, that's what makes or breaks you in a business. So you're like, oh, how am I going to get to that point? Or how am I going to get to the next point? It's like, oh, I need to do these things to get to here. Yeah. And failures along the way are just a good thing. Like, you need to fail to know everything's not. You got to learn
what's good and what works well for your business and what doesn't. But I actually just thought of something then. I think one thing I would have done earlier before I started was to get business coaching before I even started the business, because
that was one of my ones when I think about that question.
Literally, like I don't know. Have you had business coaching?
Yeah, now I have business
you got
coaching.
business coaching. It's so worth it, eh?
Yeah, I go to a one-on-one mentor.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one thing.
Literally.
Well, one of the main things I would have like told myself before I started this business, like, don't let your ego get in the way of like you think you're the best because you own a business. Like, these people know what they're talking about, and they can give you so much knowledge that it just goes over your head. But I was a 20-year-old trying to be like, fuck, I'm a cunt.
Big ego, yeah.
Like,
just you can't do everything.
Yeah, and then that's another rule as well. You can't do everything by yourself, or else you'll actually lose the plot.
Yeah. And you just got to be patient, especially once you start getting staff and stuff too. Yeah,
especially like learning to manage people and learning to say the right stuff as well, and definitely. Get everyone make sure everyone's sort of on the same page.
Same page, yeah. Everyone kind of aligns with your values, and they've got some goals that your company can align towards theirs.
Yeah, because people will stay with you forever if you if you give them a reason to stay.
100%. Unless they start their own business and then you know you've done something right.
Yeah, done something right. That's but a lot of people don't think like that, which is sad because it's like, if they're going to start their own business, it's like I did that for him.
100%.
I gave him like the motivation to do it, and you should be grateful if people would want to leave your business and try their own thing.
For sure. Like one of my last companies I left, like they were just like happy to burn the bridge, you know, like just see you later. But the last company I left, be Anderson, they were really good like that. Like when we said we were going out and doing our own thing, and they were super supportive, and I still talk to them now, like have a dinner with them every now and again, and we talk about business. So I think it's a good trait to have.
Yeah, they'll give you some tips, and it's like you can't burn bridges, I think, like in the...
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's just like, when they want something from you, then it's just like, well, no.
Yeah, that's right.
It just makes it a lot harder. But do you want to... We'll wrap it up there, but do you want to say your Instagram?
Oh, yes. So our socials is just HK Roofing. Yeah. We're on Facebook. My website's getting redeveloped at the moment.
It's still redeveloped. It's not done yet.
It's live now, but we're just like doing the final touches on it. So it's just hkroofingau.com.
Can you get quotes on the website yet? Or
you can get quotes on the website, and you can book like appointments and stuff too. But all the information's on there. All our socials and stuff is on there. We've got a TikTok. We haven't got any TikToks going yet.
I got to teach you about the TikTok.
You're going to have to teach me your TikTok ways.
That's what I'm going to start doing. I'll just start sending you all like the trending TikToks.
Right, we should. I'm not good with the trend stuff, but we'll see what we can get going. Maybe that's something I'll delegate to Maddie.
Yeah, you're going to have to do some cringy stuff, and then when you're out on the piss, fucking it.
You're that roofing guy that does the TikToks.
Bro, that was me on the weekend. Everyone was like, oh, you're the vintage seller, man. It's like, you sell old t-shirts. I'm like, yeah, beauty.
You get so many young ones that come up to you, eh?
Yeah.
Celeb Tyler.
It's funny as, but it's all good. Thanks for helping on, man.
Awesome.
Because what I'm going to start doing now is I want to get everyone in like maybe years from now, see how they're all going.
Yeah, cool.
Because this is pretty much just going to be a diary of like startups. So
cool.
that's the way we're going.
Thanks for having me, bro.
No worries. Thanks for hopping on.